What's good? What's good? Welcome to the Epic Entertainment Critics. I am Antoine.
And I'm still James.
And we have a review for y'all. We are doing the WandaVision episode 3. As promised, we'll be reviewing every episode. This is episode 3 in I don't think, how many episodes they going?
Now, I think they're going for 8.
Okay.
But
So
I ain't 100 on that.
all right, so this is the third episode in eight episode series. Before we do our review, we got intro. All right. So, WandaVision episode 3. So we have been asking for a little more about what's going on. You think you got that? Not all your answers, but you think you got some of what you was looking for?
I've gotten the tone of the issue now. And I think that's one of the things like we've been seeing in the trailers.
Yeah.
That we've only just now gotten in the show. Like we know that this ain't real.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't know the extent of it. We
Right.
didn't know like how aware the world at large was of it, and now we have a bit of a glimpse behind this curtain.
Yeah. And I got some things, as I pieced together some things where they gave, and I kind of like how they doing that. They're giving you small stuff just so you can kind of figure it out yourself without just giving it. So they didn't just throw the curtain back, they let you peek, and then you kind of start making your own little assumptions or whatever. Could be wrong, could be right, whatever. Okay, so this episode picked up where the last episode, Wanda was pregnant. Well, she turned around, she was pregnant. And so this one jumped to the 70s. Now, I think they doing Brady Bunch, but they also doing another show. I couldn't place, I remember whatever show that was when they was on the two-seat bicycle riding together. I can't remember. I used to see that show on TV, and I cannot remember which one it was. But they doing that one. They probably did that one and Brady Bunch, I think.
Okay.
I think they're going to do Brady Bunch the next episode because they're going to actually have the kids.
Right.
But they did, it was, I forget, I think it's the Bob Newhart show.
Yeah.
It's a 70s show about a couple.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, they stand to that
Yeah.
theme. Like, it ain't going to be like a single, so I don't think they're going to do like Three's Company because there was like a single, there was 3 single roommates. They're going to do couples. So I think that was the Bob Newhart show. I'm not sure, but I'm sure somebody will correct me. But I just remember that two-seater bicycle scene a lot on the little, for the intro or whatever. So, so it's basically supposed to be the 70s. So they got that look going on. They doing the same kind of way where it's like Wanda's inside this 70s show, and they kind of. Vision is kind of waking up. That's the thing. That's the thing. I kind of like. I feel bad for him now.
Yeah. Well, and so one thing I'm still waiting to figure out is like, who is Vision in this? Because this is after Infinity
After he
War
died,
Endgame,
right.
So he dead.
Right.
So is he purely a manifestation of her power? And if so, how much autonomy does he have? Because we see him wait a minute. He'll start coming out of it. And so I'm wondering, is someone standing in for Vision, or is he just an energy construct or something?
Right. You could be right. Somebody could be standing in for him.
Yeah.
Could just be it could just be the janitor or something that she just grabbed and like, hey, you Vision.
Well, so also interestingly, when they've done some of the behind the scenes stuff talking about how this series has come about, they've got concept art of Wonder Man up.
Okay.
And I've been hearing talk that they want to bring Nathan Fillion back to play him.
So, but they did. You remember they had a poster of him.
Yeah.
But my thing is, you never show Wonder Man. It's like, how are they going to make it make sense,
Right. Well, because, James Gunn wanted to have him show up in Guardians 2.
Which would have been cool.
But they had to scrap the scenes because they couldn't figure out how to fit it in.
Mm-hmm.
I think they actually shot the scenes and everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I would like to see that.
Yeah. Even still, I think, there's a poster of him that's supposed to show up in some scene, in one of the Earth flashbacks.
Yeah.
But regardless, I would love for this to be like a way to bring Wonder Man into the MCU.
Yeah.
Because, like, one, he's an interesting character. Two, that would just be a great, like, turn on that whole, you know, because, like, Vision started off as, like, a copy of Wonder Man's
Right,
brain.
but see, that's what it would make sense if he was there. But since Vision is here without Wonder Man, it's hard to,
Yeah.
you know, they can bring him in, but he's going to have to be something different than he was in the comics. You know what I'm saying?
It would just be like, we know how things win the comics. We're going a different direction, but
they got
like,
to.
Showing that they know what they were pulling from.
Right, I know. It would make more sense for her to be in love with Vision because originally she was in love with Wonder Man,
Right.
and since he was in a coma or died or whatever, and then they transferred his brain waves to Vision, that's how I went in the comics.
Yeah.
And that's where she started falling in love with Vision because it was still her dude she was in love with. Which make more sense because in this, she just fell in love with a robot with no emotion. It's like, don't even make sense how they fell in love. You
And
know?
only because
you that desperate, Wanda?
And only because he was the one that was there.
Right, I know.
While she was technically on house arrest, which kind of makes it Stockholm Syndrome, but I don't think we're supposed to think about that.
Right, I mean, you're right, she was on house arrest. I mean, he seemed like a real nice guy, but he didn't have emotion for real. You know, everything he do is he's kind of like Data, you know. And it's like, it's cool, but really, man, how you going to fall in love with him?
Yeah. And it's especially hard because they don't show them falling in love. They just tell us they're in love.
Yeah, and then they just show them like, oh, I love you so much. Oh, I love you so much. Like, where this? Okay, you know, everybody was just like, okay,
like we looked away for 5 minutes. Yeah, I love him.
Right.
Okay.
I guess that can happen. Like, two people be around each other long enough, and they be like, oh yeah, we go together.
Like, it's kind of the opposite of what they did with Bruce Banner and Black Widow, where it's like.
I didn't like that, by the way.
Well, yeah. It's like you got them getting closer and closer, and then something. Yeah, that's not a thing anymore. Good. No, that's good.
Which, I mean, because that never happened anyway, and they don't even make a good couple at all. But moving right along.
I'm just saying, like, the way they handle it was like, so we're good on not being good. I'm glad you said it.
I mean, they just got rid of Betty. It's like, okay, whatever. Anyway, and I did like how Captain America alluded to him and Black Widow slept together, but he didn't really say.
Right.
But I mean, like, come on, bro. You've been in Frozen for that long, bro. You got a blue ball. Come on, man. I know you captain. You the nicest guy in the world.
But
ain't nobody.
It's right there.
Nobody gonna be mad at you if you knock down Black Widow. I'm not gonna be mad. I ain't gonna even tell.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest. There's no way she didn't throw it at him.
That's what I'm saying. I ain't nobody mad at him though. Ain't nobody gonna look at him and shame. They're gonna be like, way to go, Captain.
Good man.
You still our captain.
Good man.
You still Captain America. Anyway.
Oh man.
We got way off subject.
Anyway, back to this episode. So,
yeah. They had the babies. Let's talk about the baby thing.
Yeah.
Now I always heard about the babies come from Mephisto, right?
Yeah. So Mephisto, like, I guess, like, Wanda's supposed to have made a deal with Mephisto to get all this jumped off. And so he basically implanted these two souls.
We don't know all that.
Right. Okay. So we don't know if this is going to come up or not.
Yeah.
There was a reference. Someone said Agnes's husband, Ralph, might be Mephisto.
Right, that's what I keep hearing, because she keep on talking about Ralph. She always kind of joke about Ralph. Where is Ralph? Ralph ain't never around. You always got something to say about Ralph. Where he at?
Yeah, but so, like, I guess in the comics, like, he had implanted these two souls, and he was just waiting for them to, like, get powerful enough that he could eat them and absorb them.
Yeah, so that's what I keep hearing or whatever. I kind of wish they would. I don't even need all that because it's like, where they at in the MCU, we ain't ready for, like, devils and, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. They haven't done the supernatural kind of thing yet.
And, like,
I mean, they might slowly go there, but if Mephisto just pop up like, I'm the devil, start swinging his pocket watch or whatever, I'm like, man, no, man, I ain't ready for all that, you know?
Yeah, and it's like, so, like, I could be wrong, but, like, they use the word synthezoid for, like, the first time in the MCU in this episode. I'm like, y'all never even explained what a synthezoid was. Like, we know what Vision is.
Yeah, they kind of banking on that you watch Age of Ultron, which that's like everybody's least favorite out of the Avengers. So everybody watched it like one time, was like, all right.
Yeah. So it's like if you jumped in like at the end of the MCU, you caught Infinity War and Endgame. You're pretty much caught up on everything, but you just didn't watch that one.
Yeah.
You sitting here like, a what?
Like what is Vision again? You have to kind of think about it. Like, where did he come from? They kind of just popped. He just kind of popped up. I mean, they explained it really good in Age of Ultron or whatever. But then when they brought him out, he kind of just joined the team. Yeah. Like it was just like it was like
it was.
He popped out of his pie. Was like, whoa, let's get to work, guys. All right, cool. He's one of us. All right, let's do this. It was so quick. It was like, okay.
Yeah.
Even they had what's name was like. He fight this stuff, and Vision popped out. He's like, okay, what the hell was that? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
War Machine.
War Machine.
Anyway.
Who's the new guy?
Yeah, he's one of us. All right, let's go.
Yeah.
So anyway, she had the babies, and first of all, she had twins.
Yeah.
Now, I heard this is a big thing in comics. They end up being mutants. They end up joining the X-Men, whatever, yada, yada, yada. I don't think we're going to get there. And I don't know if these babies going to play a big part later, but whatever. I don't know. If they might do this new Avengers thing. They might have them part of that team.
I've been hearing that that's a possibility, but
I wouldn't mind seeing it like a little teenager. Well, I don't want to see it. If they want to do a YA thing, we already burnt out on that. But if they want to do a YA thing, it's okay to make a younger team.
Yeah, just
separate.
For the sake,
don't wedge it in, which we're doing now.
Right.
But make a separate thing.
And I will say, for the sake of giving the kids something that's actually worth watching, make it better than Titans.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. Make it better than Titans.
Well, I mean, come on, it's Marvel.
Fair point.
I mean, so far, I mean, they earned my trust so far.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That I feel like they'll do the right thing. And that's also like, if you're going to get younger characters, I'm okay with you making a little young group and whatever. Just don't make it corny, and you got to make it separate too, kind of like an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. thing. Mm-hmm. I'm cool with that. Not saying that I want that, but I'm cool with that. And I figure like, if you're going to get the younger characters some shine.
Well, that and we at least have a couple of like younger characters that have gotten a lot of traction lately. Miles Morales and Kamala Khan.
Yeah.
And like using that as a vehicle to like ground them in the MCU would be good. Like within the next few years, introducing those characters and then giving them a vehicle that can actually like expound on them to the audience at large would be great. Mm-hmm. But get in its own time.
Right. But they had the babies, but we starting to say, so I'm like, okay, they did the whole 70s sitcom humor where the dad's going, Vision is the dad, he's going crazy, and Wanda's the mom in labor. It's a back and forth, it's a joke, that was all well and good, but I was ready to like, okay, I want to see more of what's going on, and they kind of gave you a nice little. But before that, they did have what's their name? Was that Herb, the neighbor? Well, Herb is the neighbor now. Yeah. Hey, buddy. Yeah. They had him and old Agnes talking, and it seemed like they was saying something. He's like, "What y'all saying over there?" Nothing. It's like they're in a trance because when they want to tell you the truth, they kind of snap back into.
Yeah.
And I feel like I think Wanda is really like holding people hostage now.
Yeah, and because it feels like they want to give it up.
Yeah, but they can't.
They can't.
Right.
Yeah. Like
it's like they need him to figure it out, but they give him clues and they don't want to just say it because if they try to say it, it seems like they kind of and they go back into that. And I'm starting to see, and I'm feeling bad for people.
Because, like, we've seen a couple of folks glitch now. There was the...
Right, they start off at the beginning where the boss was choking and stuff, and the wife, stop it. She was just like, what the...
Stop it. Stop it. Yeah.
So, but where we really got our really look at something that's going on is when, what's her name in the... we know her name, Monica Rambeau or Rambeau.
Monica Rambeau, but in the in the town, her name is Geraldine.
Right. She really started to remember, and I don't know exactly what what made her.
It was she was singing Wanda was singing a Sokovian
song
lullaby to one of the babies,
and that made jogged her memory or something.
Yeah, and
like
so
that.
she remembered. She had mentioned Pietro.
Yeah, right.
And then Monica Rambeau was like, yeah, that's right. He was killed by Ultron, wasn't he?
Yeah. And she like, what you say?
And man, like the turn on that was beautiful,
dude.
Like she got so serious and scary. Like, no, what'd you just say?
Right, right. And that's why I was like, okay, this went from Wanda could be a victim to Wanda is the fucking villain here.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, I love it.
Yeah, I mean, she was kind of scary because I was like, she's like, what'd you say? I think you need to go. And then she basically like begging, don't hurt me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then she menacingly kind of walking up on her. I'm like, what's going to happen?
And then like the next shot you see Vision come back. Oh, what happened to Geraldine? She had to go.
Yeah.
Like, could you say that without being a sociopath?
Yeah, man. That's why I was like, okay. We start. See, this show kind of make me mad because I want to see more now. It's hard to watch a show like this because when you got this build up, the payoff, you got to wait too long for. You know, it's like you want to see the payoff now. You know, that's why it's like these don't really work as a 30-minute show. This is better off as either a movie or like all the shows at once.
Yeah. Like,
I ain't gonna say don't work, but it's
like even like because like I get why they try to keep it tight, a tight 30 on each.
Yeah, because
episode.
of the structure,
right? But like I'm just saying, like you can't just give me one episode at a time and expect me to be cool.
But see, the thing is, we just getting there now.
Yeah,
and then it's like, all right, see you next week. You know, like whoa, hold on, whoa. we just not peeling that surface back. You know. Yeah. And I want to see why this is.
Yeah.
Because once we see the end of the episode, Monica get thrown out of. It looks like a barrier.
She got yeeted.
Right, and it looks like a barrier.
Yeah.
So now you say, okay, they showed the town sign. So she got a barrier over this whole town.
Yeah.
And everybody that live in this town is stuck in this.
Yeah.
In her. This is my theory. They stuck in her power, basically her fantasy.
Yeah.
And they got to behave like she want them to behave in her fantasy. And it's like, wow. And when they start to kind of wake up, she'll, put them back in, put them back in that trance.
It's weird, like, because I was having a conversation about, Scarlet Witch in the MCU. Like, comparing how we've seen her previous to this to how she exists in the comics. And like it's kind of weird. It's like she's basically the Reality Stone.
Yeah.
It's like, and so like explain to folks like, no, she's doing that.
Yeah.
Like you thought her power was throwing around some red energy blast? Nah.
See, and then also my theory is either sword or some other entity is trying to get in to stop it.
I would even say
when they get so I think they might have brought Monica in.
Yeah, so like
that's why they said she ain't got no home. She just came out of nowhere.
Well, like you see her necklace, right?
Yeah,
and it's a sword pendant.
Yeah,
so it's like she's coming in on behalf of sword, and I think when we saw our beekeeper in that last episode,
he snuck in from the ground.
That was somebody from AIM trying to get in. So I think everybody's trying to get in.
Well, see, I think the barrier only go over the top. It didn't go from the bottom. So they can come in through the ground.
Like through the sewers.
Yeah, that's where she might have realized that, okay, I got to do this I got to go around so nobody can come in through the bottom.
But, man, the glitches are getting good on this.
Right. My question is Wanda fully aware of what's going on, or is she not?
I think she's putting herself under as well.
Yeah.
And whenever there's a deviation, it snaps her out enough to realize what's going on, but she doesn't want to leave.
She seemed to volunteer, do it herself, put it back herself.
Like, I think it's like a psychotic break, right?
Yeah,
so it's like she knows just enough to know that her fantasy isn't going right. So rather than explore what that means, she's like, nope.
Right. Because as we see early in an episode, Vision kind of, and then he did that early in another episode where he just kind of like, wait a minute, something ain't right. What's going on? Yeah. And then she just reset him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the way she reset him made me think, is he not real then? Because everybody else, they got to kind of like stop. And then they, but he kind of got reset where he was sitting down And she kind of like snapped her finger. Now he's standing up. Hey, went back into the whole TV show
scene again.
bit, So that's why it made me say, okay, maybe he's not even there.
Yeah.
And that's probably where her fantasy is. She wanted him there so bad that she made a whole life with her, husband or whatever, and whatever. So it was interesting, man. It was getting good, man. It just make you mad that as soon as you peel back some of the curtains, it's just all right, see you next week, So
yeah.
We'll see. But it's getting there. It's getting there. It's really getting to where I want it to be. So it's a good show and it's really worth watching. So I don't think anybody that had a problem with the way it was, the first 2 episodes, stay with it. You got to stay with it because it's getting there. Oh, and they even give you a little. They gave you a little
Hydra soap.
Yeah. It was like, boy, can you be more?
Man,
y'all ain't even trying to hide the more.
So I'm actually really curious about this because every one of these that we see, we don't see the TV set it's on. It's literally a commercial cutting into the program. So I'm wondering if some remnant of Hydra isn't putting her up to this. In some kind of subconscious way, because it's the way it keeps breaking in with these Hydra-themed commercials. We had the Strucker watch, and we had what was the other one? The
Stark toaster.
The Stark toaster. Now we got the Hydra soap.
Yeah. I don't know, but it's interesting, and it's and you kind of get a lot of answers from. What they doing for the next phase, I think, with all that stuff. But the thing is, it's little stuff, and then they keep talking about characters that we haven't heard of, which I don't really like. Oh, it's gonna be the Grim Reaper. It's and I don't have a problem with that. It's just, who is that now?
You gotta do so much work to bring that in.
Right? They talking about bringing elements where they haven't did the groundwork. Yeah. And I guess they can say this is the groundwork, but if these crazy characters just pop up, I think it's just going to be a little too much for people. Yeah. So they're going to have to still pull back on some of that. But we'll see moving forward.
It's kind of like with the whole Wonder Man thing. One, if you can't really just bring in the Grim Reaper without bringing in Wonder Man, Yeah. So it's if you want to set that up to be revealed with this, just do the setup and let it be revealed somewhere else. Okay. But don't try to force all that into this.
Yeah. So it was a good episode, man. We'll wrap up the review. We'll be back next week with our review of episode 4, and we'll be looking forward to getting to the end, to the bottom, getting to the bottom of what's going on here. All right, we out of here. Thanks for checking out the video. Please subscribe to the channel.
And don't forget to thumbs up and comment.
Yes. All right, we out of here.
Peace.